Good morning, everyone. Just going to turn my chair a little bit around because I like to see the panelists. Hope I'm not having my back to anybody. So I'm Natalia. As Peter Michael already introduced, I will give a very short time to our panelists to each introduce themselves. I'll start at the far end corner. If you can start by just very briefly saying who you are and a couple of words about your background.
Thank you. My name is Dimitris Tzortzos. We are having an AI lab on maritime, maritime industry, and what we try to add is the human integration in AI. If we have two vessels, new built, and a year after, what makes them different is how the crew treats them. So it's a big aspect, the human integration with AI. It was mentioned earlier that it has to be a co-pilot. It has to be a combination. So what we do is to build the code blocks that they do understand and evaluate human aspects, human characteristics, and how to collaborate with the artificial intelligence.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We will talk a lot more about that in a minute. George?
Thank you very much. My name is Alexopoulos. Well, we spoken before. I'm working in Microsoft as a senior account executive on the manufacturing and maritime sector. My background is mostly in consulting, so I've worked in various large consulting firms, mostly in London. So I lived in London for 15 years, and for the last 5 years I'm here in, well, not here, well, I'm in Athens, Greece, living there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Fulvio?
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Kalimera. My name is Fulvio Solari, 15 years in software solution for the shipping industry, so software used on board and on shore, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. Marco?
Good morning, everybody. In my previous life, I was Italian Navy officer, software programmer. Then I worked for some IT companies, and 2000 to 2006, I was the ILS responsible in Italian Fincantieri Navy Department. And in that period, I started to manage technical publication in a standardized format as Fabio showed S1000D. Then I left Fincantieri. I worked for a very important CMMS provider, and we created a non-profit Shipdex organization where I am a founder member and the technical manager. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marco. Joanna?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joanna Demetriou. I'm a senior business software analyst at SOFTimpact. I have a computer science background, and for the last 17 years, I'm involved in the development of maritime software applications, as well as the full cycle of analyzing requirements, designing, implementing these at customer sites around the world.
Thank you so much. So without further ado, let's dive in. So we had a very nice introduction by Peter Michael showing us what AI capabilities are nowadays. We are in shipping, so we like to take it a bit slow. So I'm going to take it a step back. And I'll get started with data, as that, I guess, lies at the base of any AI tools or solutions we might consider. Marco, could you get us started by explaining why standardization protocols such as Shipdex, that we've seen a lot of information about, are important in the context of implementing AI tools? And maybe what are some of the challenges that organizations and businesses face in terms of how they manage their data, the quality of their data when they try to deploy AI solutions?
Okay, thank you, Natalia. I confess I'm not an AI expert, but I think I have a clear idea about AI could support the whole Shipdex process that I would like to very shortly explain once again. I have First, two important statements. Shipdex was created by a non-profit organization, is a protocol open to all and free of charge. Second statement, Shipdex is not another way to produce a technical manual, is not a PDF competitor, is another way to produce technical information, and it is, in our opinion, a big step ahead from digitization, PDF, to digitalization, Shipdex. Okay, this is the first two statements. Very quickly, the Shipdex process. Manufacturer, as MIN demonstrated, they can develop their own Shipdex dataset, maybe, or for sure, receiving technical information from their technical engineering department. They can package the information, create their own datasets for every equipment, in case of MIN, for every engine. They can send this Shipdex data to the shipyard or directly to the shipowner. The shipyard or shipowner can collect all this data into what we call common source database. This means that the shipyard will have all the information related to all the equipment installed on the ships they have built. Without duplication, the same information that is for the same engine installed on 10 different ships will be stored just once. The same from the shipowner point of view. They will receive the data of all the equipment installed on their fleet. This data can be used by the shipowner to move the data automatically, for example, into their ERP. You can imagine the spare part list, thousands of part numbers that are automatically imported into ERP. Then they can move the maintenance plan into their maintenance system on board. Having data that are never retyped and are fully coherent with the manufacturer data. So once they are on board, the maintenance system can perform the task day by day, and the system collect all the information about the maintenance performance, the spare part used, the failures detected, and this data can be exported in a Shipdex F format that is another well-structured electronic standardized format and sent back to the owner, to the shipyard, or directly to the maker to understand what is happening on board. Now, AI. In my idea, we can put AI application in different places of this process. My first idea is in the house of the maker. They could use AI algorithms to to navigate through their technical information or also PDM information and to select the relevant information, to package this information and to create, I would say, almost 90% automatically the Shipdex data. Then they can send it to the yard and blah, blah. The maker can also use the in-service feedback coming from with Shipdex F to understand how every equipment works in different scenarios with different ship mission profile. And the artificial intelligence can work to suggest, in my opinion, just suggest corrective actions to the documentation and to improve the quality of the product. Another place where AI could be very, very important, then I close, yes, very, very important, is, for example, in the shipyard or for the owner. Why not also for classification society? Because the common source database will have, in the long run, huge amount of information, static, how an equipment is composed, which is the maintenance plan and so on, and the data feedback. An artificial intelligence application could navigate through this data, select specific information, package this information to be moved somewhere else, where, for example, to create automatically computer-based training, reusing the text that are inside the common source database, but also illustration, video, multimedia content. Another very important application could be to move this data where in two different environments that everybody talks about, digital twin and autonomous ship. These two environments requires a huge amount of reliable, well-structured and standardized data. And in this way, it could be possible to move data coherent in the whole process to digital twin, autonomous ship, computer-based train. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marco. These are indeed some very interesting applications, and I think it was during George's initial stages in his presentation where he presented the, let's say, the fact that AI is going to be only as effective as the data it relies on. So this is just going to demonstrate that even further.
Huge fan of Marco. I totally agree with exactly what you said.
I saw you nodding all the way. That's why. So George, continuing with you then, you've discussed a lot of AI trends, tools, and technologies. Is there anything in specific? Which trends or which technologies in AI do you think are could be most relevant to shipping in the near future? Because clearly a lot of technology can find its way there, as Marco listed just a few examples. But in the near future, what do you think could be the most impactful trends of AI in maritime?
Thank you, Natalia. That's a very good question. And again, data is the cornerstone of AI. So within Microsoft, we classify the sector as data and AI. So the one cannot live without the other one. So, Natalia, I believe that there are three main pillars that we see immediate effects on AI. The first pillar is cybersecurity. Very well said before that, of course, cybersecurity can be a threat with the usage of AI. We can also see the benefits, though. With all the tools that we are using to prevent threat attacks, they need human intervention. So with AI, we can automate a lot of processes within cybersecurity. There is a research by Microsoft that says that over the past 3 years, 1 out of 8 organizations within EU, they got attacked by cyber attack. That is massive. We see, especially in our geographical area, getting more and more attention on cyber attacks. And I believe embedding AI in our tools can help to act faster, number one, and also prevent cyber attacks of happening to our organization. So cyber attack protection and preventive is one pillar. The second pillar that we see and we believe that AI can have an immediate effect is the employee productivity. So we see employees doing repetitive tasks, repetitive process. There was a research by BCG, it is published so you can search it as well yourselves, that it showed that 70%, actually there was a 70% increase of employees' productivity of the consultants that used AI on their daily work against the ones that they didn't use AI. So employee productivity is what? Try to avoid trivial tasks. Allow the people to focus, reskill them to focus on key activities. So that is the second pillar. Finally, the third pillar that we do believe that AI will play a critical role is customer experience on how. So customers, we all have customers in our lives, either personal lives or professional lives. Either we work in consulting companies or any other organization. We see that they demand more and more and more. So customer experience needs to be seamless. AI can be utilized to create digital assistance to enable organizations to provide this seamless customer experience. So these are the main three pillars that we see an immediate effect. And specifically in maritime, I want to highlight two key things. The first one is the one it's Marco's favorite, is data. Well, you can have whatever technology you want in order to apply AI without having your data to be utilized by this technology. Nothing can happen. So big data is a key factor for utilizing this cutting-edge technology. And when we say, and in Maritime, for sure, we're talking about loads of structured and unstructured data. All of this can be utilized, even if they are unstructured. So big data is the first highlight on the maritime industry. The second area is the fact that maritime industry is not similar to any other industry in the aspect that we have on-premise and offshore infrastructure. So we said about data, we need the mechanism to collect those data. Okay, so this can happen with IoT, Internet of Things. So without IoT, we have seen a lot of applications in the industry in the recent years. Without IoT, we can get the data even for offshore infrastructure, collect them, monitor, and managing them. So these are the two highlights that we see immediately having an effect on the maritime industry. Thank you, Natalia.
Thank you so much, George. I'm going to move on to Dimitris, as you did touch upon two out of the three that you mentioned are very closely related to the human element, George. And Dimitris also mentioned that they do take the human element a lot into consideration, and there is a balance to be achieved. What role does AI, in your experience and in your opinion, play in decision-making processes for businesses? And how can the right balance, and is this right balance uniform across the board, or is it tailor-made? How can a balance between the human intuition and machine intelligence be achieved and defined, maybe?
Okay, thank you. Well, it's a critical one, this question. I would say that in decision-making, you do have another tool, nothing more. It will speed you up. It will give you, let's say, a quick overview of the problem. But decision-making is the result of combination of human and machine learning, or AI. At the end of the day, you have to face it ethically as an investment tool, as you face another investment in your company. Of course, it has to be monitored. Of course, it has to be equalized on every single step. Otherwise, imagine the example of using GPS we all use. If you do blindly what the GPS says, you'll crash your car. So it's so simple to use it as a tool, and have also, let's say, people that they do have the knowledge to educate the people in your company to use it wisely, and to also be responsible for the ethical aspect of it in its company, that, let's say, follows the company's ethical plan, let's say, or position.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Joanna, I'm going to turn to you in your capacity. And since we are talking about AI in terms of making businesses more efficient and the decision-making being more efficient, well, in your opinion, in your experience, having talked, I guess, to a lot of organizations in terms of implementing various technological solutions, including AI, should, or I don't know if it already does, but should AI drive a business model innovation? So do we start from there? Or is it necessary, or is it better maybe, to first reset our mindsets, our cultures in an organization, put them in an innovation mode, if I might call it that way, in order for AI to be effectively implemented? As we discussed, there are a lot of preconditions for any tool, including AI, to be effectively and efficiently implemented. So what comes first?
Good question. In my perspective, a mindset shift towards innovation is crucial. Simply relying on AI or any other technology without the culture of innovation will definitely limit its potential. For AI to effectively generate value and drive innovation, we must first reset our mindsets and cultures and embrace innovation. That involves creating environments that encourage experimentation, continuous learning, creativity. Technologies can provide the capabilities and the insights for businesses to identify new opportunities. But without the culture of innovation, businesses may find it hard to capitalize on these opportunities. There's always this risk, like let's ride on the hype train and implement this flashy new technology. And that runs various risks. If we talk shipping specific, let's look at TradeLens, the blockchain-based platform for the supply chain, which was ultimately decided to be discontinued. Could that be an example of such a mindset? Let's jump aboard, use this flashy new technology without considering if it's really the best fit solution or the solution that solves our problems in the most cost-efficient way. It's important to reset our mindsets and first identify the problems or the areas that need improvement and then decide on the solution. I mean, obviously, TradeLens, we need to analyze the entire project in order to extract conclusions, but surely there are lessons to be learned there, and I think these should guide all of us in future developments. To summarize here, the right mindset and culture are essential, and they should be guiding innovation and evolution in order to generate effective value.
Thank you so much, Joanna. In essence, this takes us, I guess, a step before data, and before data is correct. So we first need to understand the problem and understand what data needs to be collected, how we should collect it, figure it out, and then utilize it in the way that we need, let's say, to resolve the issues. Fulvio, there's, within the discussion of collaborating between machine intelligence, machine learning, AI, and the human element, we keep coming back to the, and I don't remember who it was, but somebody said, yes, it's not AI that will take your job, it's the people using it. Mm-hmm. I guess it should say the people using it correctly. Mm-hmm. But how do you see AI altering job roles or functions maybe within organizations, both on board and on shore, because we're talking about shipping, so both of these spheres can be affected in a different pace, maybe in a different degree. And how can organizations prepare our teams, our employees, management, stakeholders in general, to understand, accept, and effectively take on these new roles?
Actually, this is an interesting one. I think that we should make a distinction between onboard personnel and onshore. Onboard, I think it's a long way to the top because we are very far, because as we are all aware, machine learning and artificial intelligence is happening in the cloud. The magic is there. So on board, the vast majority of systems are offline, so there is no chance. You have to trust on the crew, and a good crew makes a good ship, and this is going to stay for years. On board, we have to rely on the human intelligence still, also in technology providers, so providing effective tools, enabling people to report in an effective way information, reusing those information, make some automation, so gather data if it's possible. This simplify already lives of people on board without the help of artificial intelligence. So in that case, it's a long way. And also I would say that we are still trying to fill the gap of the skills that are needed today on board, because also in the environment, in the entire shipping community, including ship owners, providers, manufacturers, educational institution, university, there is still not a unique plan in how to approach the current and the future needs of people. I think that on shore it's a different story. We have been presented of companies that are already using machine learning, which is one of the things that goes under the umbrella of artificial intelligence. But the names are big names. So in this case, I think we should make a distinction between big companies that have the power to create teams to support this transition, hiring data scientists, hiring people that are very skilled to use in an intelligent and efficient way that information that are provided by artificial intelligence. A small company that they have to rely for sure on a good partner, but still they will have to feel and to follow a path in order to acquire some knowledge also on that. So I think that the future is there, and all the titles of the presentation of today include the word future, because it's something that it will happen for sure. I think that is not very close to be extensively adopted in the maritime industry, but it will come for sure.
Thank you so much. We have some time left, so I'm not sure if we have any questions from the room. Okay, so please feel free to jump in. In the meantime, I had a more general question, maybe to all the panelists here. So everything kind of comes down to a partnership also between service providers, which I think we all are up here, and the end users, which are the ship operators at the end of the day, owners, managers, and other stakeholders in the whole value chain. What is the role that we are called to play in this as the technology experts in helping the maritime industry take a step forward and come closer to this? We did talk about smaller business organizations, larger organizations that have more resources. How do we help each of these, and how do we help the industry as a whole in terms of creating the right environment, openness, sharing the knowledge? How does this? So I will, maybe who would like to take a first shot?
Yeah, well, I think data transparency is the key, and how you really share the information, and you create a machine learning database. So I think there is a certain point that by law will be this to have data transparency. Well, to an extent. I mean, not the sensitive information, but the functional information, they will have to be open. And from the other hand, this for the small companies, even for the big ones, there's not so much difference at the moment. They both need educate and driving license, let's say, about how to use this new tool. As a language model, it's very certain that, look, you know, the word tool and the word weapon in the bottom, they do have the same meaning. So it's how you use it. It's like having a very powerful machine. It is a very powerful machine, and you have to educate the people and be open and clear to have the results you have to have. I mean, otherwise, it will be just a fiasco. You know what I mean? No data, no transparency, and no driving license about it. You go nowhere.
Thank you so much. George,
Natalia, if you allow me, I would like to make a comment, and I fully agree with your view. I would like to make a comment on small and medium enterprises. Well, we are all thinking that all this functionality and new technology is meant to be for large organizations. Well, that's not the reality. So in our view, what's the key? Let's go a step back and think about what are the concerns of a small and medium business. It's time and money, to be clear. So when we talk about cost and money, in the past two, 3 decades, when you wanted to apply all this technology, you wanted, as we said in the start, compute power. How you could get compute power, order a vast number of servers, having them there, sitting, and waiting for you to utilize them. Well, that's not the reality nowadays. We've got the cloud option. This is a SaaS model. Okay, so it is a software as a service. You don't need to maintain all this infrastructure. You can have it on the cloud, which is cost efficient. You pay what you use and not upfront. So that makes a massive difference in terms of cost when we talk about small and medium businesses comparing to infrastructure on-premise versus on cloud. So that is the cost element. So let's go to the time element. When I firstly exposed to OpenAI, my role, as you can understand, it's more commercial role. I've got a technical background, but I'm an account executive. Okay, so I want to see, okay, how easy is to utilize this ChatGPT-4 that everyone was talking about. So I got a specialist. He showed to me a few things, and he was like, okay, give us an input a data set that you want to utilize, and let's start clicking to create your digital assistants. So nowadays, you don't need any special skills to create those digital assistants. This can help a lot the small and medium business. Okay, we can reskill people on skills that matter most for our organization and our customers, and as I mentioned again, not spending time on repetitive tasks. So in Microsoft view and my personal view, time and cost are 2 main factors that with AI could be overcome as hurdles in small and medium businesses.
Thank you so much. Is anyone?
I would like to add something quickly. Yeah, it's what you said, Natalia, that we as service providers need to help prepare the environments and the industry to accept these new technologies. And I think the biggest challenge we are facing is building trust. It's all about data, right? Yeah. And we know that everyone is very cautious when it comes to sharing data. But AI requires data to build the knowledge in order to actually help us. So that will be something that I believe we all need to work towards and resolve in order to unleash the real potential there.
Thank you, Joanna. I think you touched upon a nerve there with regarding to sharing data and information. It's always been a sensitive issue, I think, when it comes to shipping. I think the mindsets are starting to shift. We're not there yet, but hopefully we will be in not too long a time. As you mentioned, the changes are growing more and more rapid as we go along. So I am very optimistic about the future of AI and all technology in shipping, and I think everybody in this room is the same. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. So we have 2 minutes here. I see. Any last comments from the room or questions?
Quick question. As you point out, you're going to be relying on your underlying data to run a lot of things, right? You have AI on top of, a large data set. You're using generative AI and large language models to run your routing, predictive maintenance, part ordering, supplies, all of that. So, but what I haven't heard discussed is a little bit about what if someone attacked the underlying data. So in a traditional ransomware attack or something, they might get a vessel, they might get something, But you could take out the entire capabilities of the enterprise if you just attacked the underlying data, made it unavailable, corrupted it, or even inserted false data into it to subvert operations. Do you talk a little bit about that?
Would you like somebody specifically from the panel to answer that, or who would like to take on the challenge? Marco?
I didn't hear very well.
So in essence...
Can you repeat, but very, very short?
In essence, the question was, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we talked about data as the basis for AI.
Yeah.
What happens when those data are vulnerable to attack and somebody compromises those data, so the base of the whole AI system? We saw an example of wrong data being there, so that's just a small one. And is that the gist of it?
Yeah. I think from my side, this is a big challenge, of course. And my opinion, AI should be able, in some way, I'm not an expert, I repeat, to understand at least if any information is not very reliable and to raise a hand. Okay, check that probably here we have something wrong. Of course, I don't like to leave AI everything. I don't want my life to be decided by AI. AI is, in my opinion, a very, very important tool to support my day-by-day activities, but I don't want that they take my place. So this is my simple
It's not a
answer
decision
to you.
making. It's not a decision making. Let's say it's not somebody who will take a decision. It's somebody who will help you to take the decision.
I guess what we're saying...
If you allow me to add one more comment. You made a very valid comment, okay? There is always a danger and risk, someone to take over and your data being exposed. And I would make it more generic. Irrespective of AI, the danger is always there, okay? And, you know, sometimes I'm hearing customers saying, well, I don't want to expose my data on the cloud and someone will do something or whatever. So the question that I'm trying to make back to them is that, okay, why do you think that having, for example, your data on premise
Makes them safe.
Makes them safe? I can assure you that even in the most you know, a factory that sits on the other side of the world, there is a small port somewhere there that someone can access them. Okay, of course the risk is there, of course, even if the data is on-premise or on cloud. What we need to ensure is to take the right measures, A, to prevent, and B, when and if something happens, to react fast.
Can I comment something? I think data, in this case, is like money. Is the difference between a company keeping all the money in the office safe instead of the bank. Well, it's more rare to let's say, rob the office than the bank, but it's more secure to have it in the bank, to be honest. Something like this is the cloud, I think.
Agree.
Thank you so much. Well, I suppose that...
There are a couple of more questions.
Natalia has a question.
Yeah.
No doubt you have a question here.
First of all, thank you very much for the excellent presentations. It's clear that data is king. So if we have the raw data correct, we can do a lot with AI. And the raw data will not change. So in case of the raw data is compromised, the engine manufacturers, they are not in that string. They can give you on the fly the raw data back. So it is very easy to create backups and to have a resilient system. But with regard to AI, I was burning yesterday and the day before yesterday at the Cyprus Maritime conference to make a statement. Okay, we are trying about the future and predict what is happening. The reality, AI is there. And in the shipping company, we believed we know our crew members, we know our captains, and we know the strongholds and the weaknesses of them. A big weakness is English common language, writing damage reports, writing collecting evidence for underwriters. It happened to me that one of our captains suddenly wrote reports to me where I said, bloody hell, at what school has he been in the last 4 weeks? Because when I saw him on board, I could barely communicate with him. He used ChatGPT on his own. He writes his reports, official reports, with ChatGPT. So AI is there. And it is what you mentioned. It's not only for the big companies, yeah? It is already for the people. Mm-hmm. So we have to engage in order to set proper rules how to go about it. Thank you.
Thank you. We had, I think, just one last. I know we're out of time, but the hand was raised from before, so we take the last.
Yes, I want to complete the thought of Captain. Is very important for any kind of company, either it's big or small or what other kind of enterprise, about the importance of the human who has the people who can evaluate the result of the AI answers or result or whatever. It's necessary to be someone there to evaluate that answer, that result, to have the knowledge, the science and the knowledge to evaluate. It's very, very important for us. As sometimes AI answers something different than we have asked. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a very good point. It's what everyone said, and I think everyone agrees, is that AI is a tool that we need to leverage. And the more intuitive tasks, the tasks that actually need human expertise, will be left to the humans. But these humans, at least they will be freed up from all the repetitive and time-consuming tasks that AI knows how to do very well.
Well, we did talk about new roles and new functions that all of this evolution will bring. So maybe this is worth considering in that context, because we need some quality assurance, as we do in everything else that happens. And it can be in a different form and a much more high-tech role, and it requires a different skill set. But I guess that is what it comes down to. So thank you all very much. Our panelists are here for the remainder of the day. So if there are any further questions, you will find them during the break. Thank you so much.
Thank you.